So today we're going to be talking about taking care of what you start and the 5+ year marathon that is settling Prince's estate. So we're going to get into that. And then I have the pleasure of interviewing Rosalind Ortega Ellie. She is also known as Urban Teach. She's an amazing woman. She is an educator. She is an entrepreneur. She's a real estate investor. She's doing all the things, and she's going to tell us all about how she did that, right? And so, okay, great. Let's get into this whole Prince saga. I'm tired of talking about Prince, y'all. I roll my eyes every time, but I know that it's necessary. It's definitely relevant. So, long story short, for those of you who don't know his story, he passed away in 2016, did not leave any sort of plan for his estate, like none, zero, no will, no trust, nothing. And so because of that, his estate has been in court for over 5 years, racking up millions of dollars in legal fees, which the attorneys don't care about. But it's definitely, I feel like part of the conspiracy of why he didn't have a plan in place. And so not only that, part of the reason why it's been taking so long is, one, valuing his estate, because his estate encompasses intellectual property, which is the copyright of his music. And so because he is, so well known, and now he's also not with us, all that stuff has to be evaluated. You need appraisers, you need this and that. But more importantly, or the bigger thing, is that they didn't even know who his heirs were, right? Of course, once he passed away, a whole bunch of people came out the woodwork. And so he had like two sets of family members who were saying that they were his actual siblings. But long story short, they finally determined that he actually had 6 half siblings. And that's the other thing. Who knows if he wanted his half siblings to inherit his estate? Like how many of us have half siblings that were just like, I don't even know who these people are, right? I can raise my hand to that one. So, so there's that. So finally they determined that he has half siblings, and now those siblings have been, I guess, given a hypothetical share, right? Because nothing has really been distributed yet. And so this company now, Primary Wave, comes into the picture and is like, yeah, so we want to buy up your interests in the estate so that we could do what we want with it. And some of the siblings, 3 of the older siblings, are like, no, we know the value in this. We're not selling. We're holding strong. But 3 of the younger siblings ended up selling their stake in the estate. So Primary Wave now owns 42% of his estate, which means they have basically a controlling vote of what to do with his assets. That's his name, his music, his publishing rights, his what do you call that? Paisley Park, where his recording studio. And so now they own a great share of this thing. And this company actually buys up the ownership of music royalties or music rights of individuals such as Prince. They also own Whitney Houston. They also own Bob Marley and Ray Charles. And so what they do is then they exploit it for TV or movies or film, et cetera, and they make money off of it for generations, which is likely something that Prince would have wanted his family to do if he wanted his family to have it at all. But now, they've sold it to this company. And I said they sold out because I posted this on Instagram and said they sold out. And it's like, that's why, because one, this company is not worried about his interests, right? His legacy, I should say, keeping Prince's legacy alive and what he was all about. And I found out when I was doing the research for this that they put out an album, which I was hesitant to listen to, but I did try to listen to 2 tracks. And when I say it is trash, it is trash, straight for the garbage. And so I know that it's not on Prince's level. I said, I can't even do this. I'm not even going to listen to the rest of this because that's not Prince. And then I learned that he was like, he didn't want anybody to hear any of this music that he had in his vault because he did not think it was good. Like, it was not on his level. So that's one indication that they're not going to do what's good for Prince's legacy. And then the other reason is that they basically sold a stream of income for a finite amount of money. So I don't know what the exact amount is that they got. That wasn't disclosed, but we know that it's not what it's worth, right? And it said that this company, Primary Wave, they do pay a lot because they want to drive up the value of what they're buying, essentially. And so that it's going to be worth more. And so who knows? My whole thing with this is that, what Prince could have done is to make it much more easier. One, he could have said, who does he want his assets to go to, right? That could have been done by doing a trust and saying that maybe he wanted to give some of his money to his siblings. And maybe if his assets, if he didn't have liquid cash in his estate, he could have put an insurance policy in place that could have paid out to his trust, that could have given a payday to his family members, but would have secured his intellectual property, right? So that it could stay in trust. It could be managed by somebody who's savvy on how to manage these things. So the family member doesn't have to worry about knowing what to do with all this stuff. And then it could have, gone on forever. Maybe he could have left some money in a foundation where he could have benefited, someone who looks like him, maybe in music, maybe in arts, maybe in mental mental health, whatever it is that he was passionate about. That could have been going on forever in some sort of foundation. And when he had like over $200 million that was the value when he passed away, right? And so when you have such a large estate like that, you're looking at a lot of estate taxes. So had he left most of it to charity, to his own charitable foundation, that could have been tax-free. So now there's going to be taxes paid on the estate. So it's going to be like at least 40% less than what it is now. You got the legal fees, and then you got the family members selling out. So it's really just a big mess. So the takeaway is, take care of what you start. This man lived his whole entire life pouring out his heart and his art to all of us, left a great mark, and now it's just becoming a huge mess.